the day voters and candidates have been waiting for, Election Day. Just ahead, ELCAT talks to the town clerk about the predicted voter turnout in town. How does East Longmeadow prepare for the onslaught of people who will head over to the polls? We take you inside Birchland Park Middle School as setup begins. And the Spartan boys soccer season comes to an end after an exciting matchup against rival Longmeadow. The highlights just ahead on ELCAT News Update. I'm May Randall. We begin tonight with Election Day. November 4th is finally here and preparations are underway for what is expected to be a strong voter turnout here in East Longmeadow and across the Commonwealth. Here's a look at what's on the ballot. 4 ballot questions. Question number 1, eliminating gas tax indexing. A yes vote would eliminate the requirement that the state's gas tax be adjusted automatically each year based on the Consumer Price Index. A no vote would make no change in the current law. Question number 2, expanding the bottle bill. A yes vote would expand the current law to require consumers to pay nickel deposits on non-carbonated beverage containers. A no vote would make no change to the current law. Supporters say the bill will further reduce litter and increase recycling. Opponents, however, say the state should increase its curbside recycling, and improving the question would place an additional burden on businesses to expand redemption facilities. Question number 3 asks voters whether they want to repeal the Massachusetts casino law. A yes vote would repeal the current law and make already approved casino gaming facilities in Springfield, Everett, and Plainville illegal. A no vote would create no change to the current law passed by the legislature back in 2011. Question 4 provides earned sick time for employees. A yes vote would require businesses with at least 11 employees to provide part-time or full-time employees with up to 40 hours of sick time each calendar year. A no vote would keep the law as it stands. There are also a variety of political seats up for grabs, including the top office in the Commonwealth. Voters will be asked to cast their ballot for governor, attorney general, secretary of state, treasurer, auditor, state rep, and Senate seats, district attorney, and register of probate. It's bound to be a big day for polling locations across the state, including here in East Longmeadow. Voters in town will all head up here Tuesday to Birchland Park Middle School, where volunteers spent Monday afternoon transforming the gym into the town's polling location. Town clerk Tom Florence says they're expecting a solid turnout.
Actually looking at a favorable turnout. We're looking right now about 60%. It even could be a little bit higher. We've had a lot of absentee ballot input. We've had 450 people come in to vote absentee so far. I mean, which is tremendous. It gives us an idea of how to project a turnout. We have 11,220 registered voters as of Friday, and I'm looking at, if it's a 60% turnout, about 6,750 people to vote. Minus the absentee ballot voters, so about approximately 6,300 people are going to come to the polling location, which is great.
Florence says when the governor's seat is on the ballot, that always drives up turnout. However, he says there are a number of other factors that will bring people to the polls.
I think there's a couple reasons why we're expecting a very high turnout. One of which is, I believe, a local race. We have Deborah Ansky and Eric Lesser. Or a couple local people have garnered a lot of interest, and then of course the ballot questions. That's a lot of interest, especially as you probably people can see in television ads. That casino vote is has got a lot of people's interest, and the other reason is usually it's just the governor's race. Governors, it's every 4 years. You get to vote for a governor, and that brings out a lot of people as well.
These volunteers are making sure everything will be ready when the polls open at 7 a.m.
We set up all the voters' booths. We set up the signs. We put the tables for the election workers. Set that up. We set up what's called the guardrail, which means people, media-type people or people who want to observe, have to stay inside the guardrail. And basically make sure everything is all set. We get the voting booths pushed back to their locations by the outlets, because it's 6:15 to 6:30 in the morning, things happen really quick. We want to plug the machines in, do the print zero total tapes, make sure all the clerks and wardens and all the registrars are ready to do what they need to do by 7 a.m.
Before work hours, after work, and during lunch are the busiest times to cast your ballot. However, Florence says schools are closed, so traffic should be minimized.
School will not be in session, which is it's a great thing. Partnering with Gordon and the superintendent's office, that on election day of an even year, not an odd year, because we don't have a mayoral form of government, on an even year he has an in-service day, which is a great help to us. So the students aren't at Birchland Park Middle School, which makes things, traffic and people getting in and out of the polls much easier.
Again, polls are open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. We will have complete results on Wednesday right here on ELCAT News Update. In sports news, the Spartan boys soccer team wrapped up their seasons falling just shy of a playoff spot, but went out with a big fight against rival Longmeadow. The boys took the field Wednesday night against the Lancers. The weather did not cooperate, but that didn't deter senior night festivities. Each senior, 12 in all, took the field to standing ovations from the crowd. Ricky Dupree, number 9, Anthony Rosario, number 15, Drew Meyer, number 14, Nick Calvanese, Wes Olin, Matt Pellegrino, number 21, Nick Demarest, number 11, Will St. Marie, Connor Hebert, number 13, Mike Fenney, Chris Casella, and number 1, Tyler Martinelli. Now on to the match. Longmeadow dominated for much of the first half, and with about 25 minutes remaining, the Lancers got one on a cross. That seemed to light a fire under the Spartans. Moments later, Captain Chris Casella got a breakaway and shot one in the bottom left corner to tie it up. The last time these two teams met earlier in the season, Longmeadow easily won 6-2. Not this night, though. The Spartans kept firing in the second half, but just couldn't find the net. The final score, 1-1. That means no trip to the playoffs for these boys, but nonetheless a solid season. On Friday night, the Spartan varsity football team traveled to West Springfield to face the Terriers for their last regular game of the season. Another rainy night, but that did not seem to affect the Spartans. EL already headed to the playoffs. It was the Terriers who needed to win and some outside help, but it was not to be. Spartan junior Mike Magipinto had 5 rushing TDs in the Spartans' 43-14 victory over Westside, eliminating the Terriers from the postseason. Sophomore Aiden Kennedy started the evening off, finding the end zone on a 35-yard run. Both sides of the ball performed well, defense holding strong and QB Tyler Maloney on target throughout the night. The Spartans now move to the playoffs Friday night, facing the Central Golden Eagles at Central. Kickoff is at 7 p.m. Well, that will do it for us tonight. Thanks for watching ELCAT News Update. I'm May Randall. Until next time, good night.